This video focuses on identification in trade growth empirics, specifically analyzing trade structure and learning by importing channels. We will examine causal mechanisms and econometric specifications. Identification is crucial because empirical papers on the trade growth nexus often use reduced-form linear equations, compressing complex causal chains. The core problem lies in interpreting if the estimated relationship is causal or merely correlational. The identification checklist requires verifying the economic logic. We must ask, is the coefficient causal? What is the full mechanism, and which parts are explicitly included? Additionally, we need to know what processes are absorbed or end up in the error term. The core identification problem is determining if omitted components are correlated with trade variables. If they are, OLS estimation fails, leading to endogeneity. The coefficient represents a mix of the true effect and bias from omitted factors. Starting with the basic growth framework, trade variables primarily influence total factor productivity, or TFP. Trade structure and technology imports drive efficiency, AIT, which changes drive long-run growth. In the trade structure channel, the causal chain moves from exogenous global shocks to domestic growth via sectoral reallocation. This mechanism involves resources shifting to productive sectors, leading to increased aggregate TFP and overall growth. When mapping this to regression, identification concerns for the trade structure coefficient, $beta_$1, include reverse causality and omitted variable bias. Unobserved shocks and domestic policy are often left in the error term. The learning by importing mechanism shows how technology imports, such as machinery, lead to growth. The key is absorptive capacity. Domestic skills and institutions determine if imports facilitate technology transfer or simply consumption. To capture absorptive capacity, the regression should include interaction terms. If the interaction term, $beta_$4 is positive, it confirms that imports work better with higher human capital. Concerns for $beta_$2 include simultaneity and omitted reforms. A rigorous identification strategy tracks every node of the economic theory. We must categorize the status of mechanism nodes: included, implicit, or omitted. Any omitted node correlated with trade variables will bias the results. Identification strategies should be mechanism-guided. They include using exogenous shocks as instruments, applying dynamics and lags to capture time effects, and using mechanism-based interaction terms to reflect complementarity. Sectoral data can also minimize aggregation bias. The key lesson is that identification starts with causality, not econometrics. We must write down the entire causal mechanism first, articulating the conceptual variables and channels. Regressions without this step risk capturing non-causal correlations. The core discipline involves categorizing theory elements as explicitly included, implicitly captured, or omitted. The central threat is endogeneity, which occurs when omitted elements like good institutions are correlated with the trade variables. Finally, instruments must be derived from the economic mechanism, not merely data availability. For every model, justify why each variable is included, what fixed effects absorb, and what justifies the instrument choice.